Hello everyone, welcome back to Daska Discusses. You know what I was thinking? There are sports movies, and there's memorable ones out there, but there's one that stands on top, I think, and that is The Karate Kid from 1984. On the surface, it's simple. A bullied kid, a new town, a tournament, an underdog story that you've seen before, but beneath that, it's about identity, it's about mentorship, it's about discipline. In 1984, when cinema was filled with big action heroes and big muscles, this film gave us something quieter. You know what that was? It was Mr. Miyagi, a man that teaches about balance before brute force. And tonight, I'm joined by someone who didn't grow up just watching The Karate Kid. He grew up practicing karate and became a karate champion. Yuto understands the culture, the philosophy, the discipline. And that's what's going to make this conversation so much different. Yuto, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thanks very much for having me on the show, Daska. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Yuto. Now, Yuto, when did you first see The Karate Kid?
I first saw the Karate Kid back in 1985. So it would have been maybe 6 months after it was released.
Wow.
In the cinemas.
Did you watch it in Japan or in Australia?
No, it was here in Australia at a neighbour's house on VHS. And, yeah, it left a lasting impression that till this day is very strong in my life.
Tell us about your karate journey, because you were a karate champion. Can you go through all that?
Yeah, sure. After watching the film at my neighbour's house, something just really clicked within me that kind of drew me to the film. It was not just about the karate, but more so a cultural connection to the art of karate, if we say the correct pronunciation.
Of course, karate, yes.
Karate. And from there, I just kept begging my parents, can I, learn karate? I want to start karate, just like Daniel did.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, my father had a friend who was also from Okinawa.
Okay.
Sensei Maki, who used to just initially come to my parents' house every Saturdays.
Right.
And it just started off with training myself and my brother, my little brother. And then gradually that built to the neighborhood kids and friends.
Yeah. Did it feel authentic?
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, any film for Hollywood, you got to kind of adjust it to more so Western audiences.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Japanese elements, or should I say Okinawa elements, I believe like in terms of the history of karate as well, was close to being as accurate as and respectful to the origins.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just for anything Hollywood is kind of more so to a Western audience, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, despite that, it still resonated with me, that connection to my culture.
Tell us about the tournament that you were in and how you became champion, just briefly. Like what happened there?
Yeah, so my very first tournament, it would have been in the early 90s. And in South Australia at the time, I was very nervous.
Yeah.
Going into my first tournament. I mean, I'd trained for several years by then. And, first bout came up. And my opponent did a front kick.
Yep.
And took the first point of the bout.
Aja!
Yeah, and...
Point!
It caught me off guard.
Yep.
And that really, got me going.
Yeah.
Fired up. And then, unfortunately, I was disqualified.
Wow.
For striking my opponent in the throat. So...
strike hard, strike first, but then get the DQ.
Yeah.
Wow. Disqualified for one kick. Wow.
Yeah, and that was the end of my tournament for that competition.
And then what happened?
Yeah, and following that, I with the disappointment, I trained hard to, prepare for that tournament. I got a bit disillusioned and lost my confidence as well.
Yeah.
And just thought about just giving it all up just from that, bad experience. So, but luckily for me, my senpai, who is like the senior,
Yeah.
he encouraged me to just keep training and, just like Daniel in the film Karate Kid, it's just to overcome adversity by training hard and, just overcoming any challenges by sticking true to the ideals of karate.
That's amazing. Was it all portrayed realistically, the whole karate?
Well, yes. I mean, I think in the context of things, it was. With Hollywood, again, everything is for show. Just the ideals of karate, about discipline, training hard, and honoring your dojo. That was, I think, portrayed very well in the film.
Yeah. Now, wax on, wax off as a metaphor. What do you think that means?
Wax on, wax off. In terms of when he was training, Mr. Miyagi and Daniel had a agreement following the instructions of the sensei.
Yeah.
That was Miyagi's style. Just whatever he says, that's his. That goes without any question, and so it is in all dojos as well. But the moment a student questions the sensei's teaching, then.
But do you think Miyagi is the true hero of the film?
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, Daniel being the protagonist.
Yeah.
He's come from the background that he did, being the underdog in a new setting, new environment.
Do you find him annoying at all, Daniel?
Well, yeah, initially.
I think he's really annoying in part 3. In part 3, he's really, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but in the first film, he's just the new kid in town.
Yeah.
With come from a lower socioeconomic background as well, compared to some of the valley kids. And yeah, it was just the ultimate underdog, wasn't he?
He was.
And then meets Johnny and Ali, and then gets into that with the Cobra Kai.
Well, speaking of the Cobra Kai.
Fear does not exist in this dojo, does it?
No, Sensei.
Hey, does not exist in this dojo.
I'll tell you what. Listening to Martin Cove, John Kreese, this is a timeless scene. Seriously. Don't you think?
Yeah, it was. And it was quite intense as well, that scene. And this is where kind of Daniel is looking for support.
Yeah.
In wanting to be able to defend himself after, having some incidents with the Johnny and his crew. And and then there was that ultimate kind of...
It's quite threatening. It's aggressive, threatening. He's a toxic influence, Kreese, but without him, without Kreese in this film, obviously you need the ultimate antagonist, but you see we call it in media studies, the binary opposites of like good and bad. You've got the protagonist, which is like the good guy, obviously. So we've got Daniel, but Daniel's got his mentor, which is Miyagi, which is good as well, good-natured, quiet. But then you've got on the other side the antagonist, Johnny, but he's obviously got Kreese attached to him. Now, I think that Kreese obviously is, Johnny's not a good guy either, but Kreese is the ultimate evil in this, and we'll get to that later on with, what happens at the tournament. But they made a whole show about Cobra Kai and how important is respect in real karate culture. And a lot of people are saying that maybe this whole play of Cobra Kai in the film kind of did a disservice to karate in the 80s as well, even though it probably did see a big influx of karate, but showing a sensei like that, how accurate was having a sensei like that?
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, personal experiences, all the senseis I've had were quite strict disciplinarians, but never with a type of negative attitude that Kreese had in his dojo. Whereas with karate, it's always about defense first. Whereas Cobra Kai, what Kreese kind of taught in his style of fighting was, to be on the offense, which goes against the basic principles of karate.
Yeah.
Which is self-defense first.
Now, talking about the tournament, the crane kick debate is, there's that whole thing, even my students, because I've been teaching the Karate Kid to year 9s for many years, and we look at things like, camera work, mise-en-scène, editing, lighting, sound, but a lot of kids are, they see reels or TikToks about how the crane kick was illegal. It was a kick to the face, and they bring it up in Cobra Kai. Was it illegal? You've been in a tournament. You hit him in the face with a kick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was an illegal move.
However, do you think that ending still hits emotionally?
Yeah, it does. No matter how many times I watch it, I know the outcome as well.
Yeah.
I know the outcome. It just hits, pulls on the heartstrings. It's just the ultimate redemption story
Yep.
for an underdog that's come to a new environment, had the odds stacked against him, and through some unorthodox training methods, he's able to overcome, those obstacles.
Did this film inspire a generation? You grew up in this generation. Do you reckon it did?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I've still got mates that I keep in contact from those days, those early days that I was training in the backyard of my parents' house. And, they've all got kids now, and they've gotten their kids to watch and love the film as much as they did and as much as we did as kids. That same feeling I get when I see Daniel get that winning point from the crane kick. It took me back to when I won my tournament.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
Many years ago.
I mean, look, I did Taekwondo up until yellow belt, and then my sensei, Master Cho, said, I think it's best that you quit because you're just too dangerous. Your favorite scene in the film, what is it?
My favorite scene in the film is definitely got to be when Daniel is complaining about the training regimen that Miyagi has kind of instilled upon him, doing all the painting the fence, painting the house, sanding the floors,
Yes.
and all that. And Miyagi just comes back to the house late at night from fishing. And, and then Daniel gets upset, saying, complaining that he's being used as, like a slave. And then Miyagi comes up and asks.
What did I learn? How to paint your house, paint your fence.
Yeah. Unbeknownst to Daniel, Miyagi had been teaching him
Yeah.
the basic techniques of his style.
Show me
He's
sand the
done
floor.
enough.
Show me paint the fence.
Yeah, wax on, wax off.
How good was that?
And then when my favorite scene was when all that came to fruition and Miyagi just went all out and attacked Daniel.
Yep.
Daniel used all that he had been training to defend himself. And then that was a shock to Daniel as well. That's when he realized that, this was all for my training.
Yeah.
And that is my very favorite moment in the film. It's like it's like magic.
My favorite moment in the film, my favorite scene, I go through this in class too, but I really like I know it sounds bad, but the Halloween beat up scene. I know that sounds really weird to talk about, but I think it's a fantastic scene. The lead up to that, goes that he's a bit of an antagonizer, but when they're running and chasing him, and Johnny's like, you couldn't leave one off and on. No, couldn't you, you little twerp? Now you got to pay. And he's like, they're bashing him pretty bad, but I love teaching this scene because the use of low lighting, the fog, the fact that they're wearing these skeleton outfits and the makeup, it looks like an actual nightmare. It's actually freaking scary. And they want to leave him alone, man. Is that enough? I'll decide, is that enough, man? The enemy deserves no mercy. Right. You're crazy, man. And then Miyagi comes in and kicks ass. That is my favorite scene. Obviously, everyone loves the ending and the tournament and all that, but yeah. Okay, let's talk about your favorite Miyagi moment.
I'd say, when Miyagi was drunk, it might have been his wedding anniversary.
This is exactly the one I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's kind of just singing in his house alone, drinking whiskey.
What is that song he's singing?
Japanese blues.
How does it go?
It was like, Kurai ukiyo no kono uramaji yo.
What is that?
It's just like, walking through the back streets of a dark night.
Okay.
On a dark night, and it's a very depressing kind of setting.
But
So
with what he's saying, though, yeah.
Yeah, because he's celebrating the anniversary, but he's lost his wife during childbirth.
That is a great backstory scene. And again, I'm going to go back to my teaching, but when you're a kid, you watch it and you don't really get what's kind of happening when you're very young. But then as you get older, you understand, and even the students understand that it is a pretty big deal because he's telling his backstory. He reads the paper. Daniel reads the paper about his wife dying in childbirth. And then the music kicks in. It's the dun 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 dun. Bill Conti.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. And then Daniel bows to him, and then you've got the standard scene that comes in, and he's practicing the crane kick on the plank of wood at the beach. But it is Great backstory scene, and he should have got the Oscar for supporting actor, and he didn't get it, Pat Morita.
No, it was nominated though, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was, correct. Now, your favorite tournament moment, what is that? Apart from go ahead. You tell me yours.
Yeah, I mean, I everyone talks about the final between Daniel and, Johnny. But to me, my favorite tournament scene was Johnny in the semis against Vidal.
Yeah.
And Vidal, with his that spinning roundhouse kicks that he does, and he pulled off some really kind of flashy moves.
Yeah.
And as a kid watching it on VHS, I used to rewind that bout the most.
Yeah.
Just to watch it from the start of that semi-final bout.
He was actual professional, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
And then I believe
The ref.
Pat E. Johnson, I think he's
Yeah, and he's in Enter the Dragon too.
Yes.
Yep.
And Pat, he trained all the cast
Yes.
in karate. So yeah, that's the referee in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your favorite part is the Vidal Johnny fight
Yeah,
in the
in the
tournament.
tournament. Yeah.
See how fun it is to talk about films, Yuto?
Yes.
Let's talk about favorite quotes. Your favorite quote, what is that?
I think my favorite quote would have to be when Daniel is asking Miyagi what belt he has in terms of what color belt in karate.
I think I might have that here. Do you want me to play it for you?
Yeah, if you have that.
Is it this?
Daniel-san,
What?
Oh,
karate here. Karate here.
I can picture it.
Karate never here.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
You understand?
What does that mean to you, Yuto?
To me, that means karate is not about what color belt is around your waist. It's about how you think about your training and karate and how you feel karate in your heart.
Yeah.
That's what Miyagi was trying to kind of express to Daniel-san in that moment.
My favorite quote, it's, everyone knows it, but it's this.
Sweep the leg. You
have a problem with that? Sensei,
No, Sensei.
no mercy. Listen to this music cue.
No mercy.
Now, ready? Ready?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that
like-
that pad, that
Yeah.
like that. The reason why I love this quote so much is, one, it's iconic. There's plenty you can use. There's plenty of Miyagi ones, but
Yeah.
the fact that it's coming from Kreese, and I think at the point where it's William Zabka or Johnny,
Yeah.
when he's looking at him and he says sweep the leg,
Yeah.
the look on Johnny's face, I think we've realized that Johnny isn't the evil one here.
No.
And he's like looking at him like, are you actually serious? And he said, do you have a problem with that?
Yep.
No, Sensei, no mercy. And it's just puts Martin Cove up there with one of the greatest villains.
Yeah, and it's I think earlier in the film as well, Miyagi did mention that there's no such thing as a bad student, only a bad teacher.
Do you know how many times my students tell me that?
Yeah.
Do you know how many times they say that?
Is
Like,
that
Mr.
right?
T, listen to that.
Yeah.
He just said,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny one. No such thing as bad student, only bad teacher. Well, now, least favorite scene. I've got mine. I'll tell you what it is. The intro to the film is 3 minutes 48 seconds of traveling. Now, I know that shows elliptical editing, it's called, which is like a progression of time. We have to see Daniel get to, where does he live again? Reseda.
Reseda
He has
from
to, we have
Newark.
to see that, but it's just, it is way too long. It's like, we get it. He's leaving Jersey. They push the car away. And then they stop again and they push the car again and the music starts. And there's like the credits. It's just way too long. And trying to teach it to this generation, this TikTok generation, they can't handle it. I actually have to fast forward it. It's that bad.
Oh, right.
It's
right.
that bad. Like, they can't sit there for 3.5 minutes. And I don't blame them in a way.
Yeah.
What do you think? Am I being too harsh?
No, I mean, I haven't really thought of it that way, but you're right. It is quite a long opening sequence. But to me, I just think, from Newark, New Jersey, where he started,
Yeah.
to Reseda in California, I think you're going all across the country on a road trip. So that's going to take a while.
True.
But yeah, I get your point that it is, 3.5 minutes or thereabouts.
Yeah,
and that is
yeah.
a very long opening sequence.
Getting to the legacy of The Karate Kid, why are we still talking about this film right now? And why, answer that question for me. Why are we still talking about this?
For me, because it was very influential growing up. It played a pivotal part in kind of pointing me or influencing me to who I am today. I was a migrant to this country in the early 80s. And, you know, growing up here from a different background, you know, I was starting to lose a sense of my cultural attachment to Japan. And watching Karate Kid, it kind of reconnected me to my cultural heritage. So, and then inspired me to go ahead and train as well. So
And become the champion.
yeah, one-time champion.
It's still a champion.
Yeah. So that was
Like you win a grand final for under 12s, you've still won a grand final. I've never won one. My brother's won a couple and reminds me, but
right.
you know, has he won 2 Anzac medals, but one of them was stolen. But yeah, anyway, back to,
Yeah.
Why, you know what's funny? When Cobra Kai was announced that they're going to make a show for YouTube Red, I remember telling people, watch this show. It's great. It was on YouTube Red. I paid for the subscription and everyone kind of bagged it a lot. They were like, this is trash. They're washed up, whatever. And then magically a spark was lit because they're like, hang on a minute. That 9th and 10th, no, how many episodes were there? I think it was 7 or 8. But the last 2 episodes, there was a tournament one at the end. People all our age, you watched it with me. I remember YouTube Red, but there was a lot of people like, nah, I'm not going to watch that trash. Nah, it's rubbish. We had friends that were like, I'm going to watch that. No, it was only one Karate Kid and that's it. No, this started something and look what happened. It became huge. Netflix picked it up and it was a great show. It did have some lull kind of seasons, but the ending, I'm not going to get into it now in case you haven't seen it, but I think Cobra Kai was one of the best Netflix shows they've made out, even though it did have some episodes that were a bit meh and it did have some characters that were a bit whatever. But remember the year that we're in. We're in the 2020s. You can't have everything from the 80s and you have to have the story apply and attract young viewers. What do you think?
More so for me, it was just that nostalgia. You know, they, I think, represented the original source material pretty well. Yeah, it was just like, I felt like being transported back to my 8-year-old self again, watching Karate Kid, the movie, for the first time. That's the kind of feeling I got from watching the Cobra Kai series. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I still enjoyed it quite a lot.
Did you think it was weird that they went with the Cobra Kai angle, even though it did change through season to season, but the fact that it was Johnny's story, would you say, yeah?
Yeah.
At the beginning? Yeah.
Yeah, more so than Daniel's. Daniel was almost like a secondary character to Johnny's, the way that Johnny had ended up after following the tournament. And, you know, that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. It was more following Johnny's kind of path after the tournament, after that Karate Kid series.
Did you watch Karate Kid Legends, the new one, that spin-off? What did you think of that?
Yes, I did. And look, I wasn't a fan of the original Jaden Smith one back in 2010 with Jackie Chan.
Yeah. Even though he was doing kung fu.
Yeah, and they still called it karate. It's similar or same concept.
Yeah.
In the storyline, but
keep his name out your
exactly. Keep Karate Kid out your mouth. You know?
Out your mouth.
Yeah, I thought it was unnecessary. I think they tried to do what, you know, like the multiverse in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, that worked pretty well, but I don't think it worked too well in this instance in Karate Kid Legends. Look, it wasn't a bad film, but
I gave it 2.5.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah, I just thought it wasn't necessary.
Paper Tigers was good.
Yeah.
I think, you know,
great.
with all, and I've said this to my students as well, it's like everything's a remake, reboot, sequel. That's why I'm a huge fan of like A24, but I was a fan of Cobra Kai because it wasn't a reboot. It was like what happened next. But I just want to say, Yuto, it has been quite a pleasure talking to you and finally meeting someone who's won a championship tournament like in the Karate Kid. I want to say thank you to all our listeners, and if you can please share, follow on Spotify or Apple or wherever else, leave a 5-star review. It helps the podcast. And Yuto, we'll see you again on the show to talk about maybe part 2 or maybe another film that was influential to you. But it was great to hear your story and hear your voice on the Karate Kid. And as they say in the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off.
Right hand. Wax
What else do they
off,
say?
Left hand.
Paint the fence.
Paint the fence.
down.
Thank you, Yuto. Any last words?
Wax
Well,
off.
thanks very much for having me on your show, Daska. It's been a very enjoyable experience. So, yeah, looking forward to how this turns out as well.
Thank you so much, Yuto. Thank you all. Catch you next time. Daska out. Boom.
Boom.